Today, we're diving into a story that's all about good intentions and the absolute disaster they can cause. It's a tale about a 20-year-old secret and what happens when you try to fix a wrong that maybe should have been left alone. I mean, really think about it. It's a question we've all probably wondered about. Can a really late apology or some grand gesture actually mend an old wound? Or does it just end up ripping everything wide open all over again? Well, for one man, this wasn't just some late-night thought. Nope, it became his mission. And it was a mission that would completely unravel not just his life, but the lives of everyone he was trying to help.
So, let's start at the beginning. Our story kicks off with a man whose quiet, predictable life was really just hiding a deep, nagging feeling that something wasn't right.
So let's meet Mr. Millborne. Picture this guy, 50 years old, a bachelor living in London. His life is all about routine, same walk to the same club every single day. He's got enough money to be comfortable, but he's not rich. On the surface, everything seems totally fine, totally calm. But underneath all that, there's this one broken promise from 20 years ago that has just been eating away at him. And here, this is the real kicker. This is what's driving him. It's not really about pure guilt for the woman he wronged all those years ago. No, it's actually pretty selfish. It's a dissatisfaction with myself. Breaking that promise made him feel like less of an honorable man, and he just can't stand it. This whole quest, it was never really for her. It was all about fixing his own self-image. So, after all these years of just stewing in this feeling, it finally boils over. He decides he has to do something. He has to act. So he tracks down the woman, Leonora, who's now living a totally different life, a quiet, respectable life, under a new name in a new town. And this is where the central conflict of the whole story just gets laid bare. You've got Mr. Millborne showing up to fix his conscience, to do his duty. But on the other side, you have Leonora. She's moved on. She's built a good life for herself and her daughter. His reappearance isn't a relief. It's a huge problem. She wants absolutely nothing to do with him. So how on earth does he convince her? Well, it's not with talk of love or making things right. No. He finds her weak spot, her daughter, Frances. He basically argues that if she marries him, it'll raise their social status and, most importantly, lock in her daughter's engagement to this respectable clergyman. And just for her daughter's sake, Leonora gives in. She reluctantly agrees. So this new, very awkward family moves to London. And at first, things seem okay. But then a totally innocent little trip to the seaside is about to blow everything up. They all decide to hire a yacht for a nice day out on the water. Sounds lovely, right? But the weather turns. A strong breeze kicks up, and both Mr. Millborne and his daughter Frances get horribly seasick. And as the color just drains from their faces, something that's been buried for 2 decades comes rushing right to the surface. And this is such a fascinating detail in the story. It talks about how being nauseous can strip away the social masks we all wear, revealing the true face underneath. And in that moment of shared misery, all the differences in age and gender just melt away, and for the very first time, this undeniable, shocking family resemblance between Millborne and Frances becomes crystal clear. And who sees it? The fiancé, Mr. Cope. He's sitting right there looking at them. He sees the likeness, and he asks this question that sounds so innocent. But that question is the spark that lights the fuse on the whole thing. The secret's out, even if he doesn't fully get what he's just uncovered. And now we get to the tragic fallout. Millborne came to be their savior, but instead, he's become what the story calls the specter at their intended feast. His attempt to fix the past is now systematically destroying their future. And the dominoes just fall so fast, it's brutal. Mr. Cope, being a very proper clergyman, puts 2 and 2 together. He's horrified when he realizes Frances's true parentage, and he quietly backs out of the engagement. The very thing this marriage was supposed to guarantee is now gone, and all the blame falls on one person. The house just becomes a place of constant, bitter accusations. His wife, Leonora, just lashes out. She calls him an evil genius. She doesn't see his conscience as a good thing. She sees it as a selfish obsession that has now ruined her life for a second time, destroying everything she worked so hard to build. So under this constant fire of anger and regret, Millborne gets quiet. He starts thinking, and he finally gets it. He understands the real mess he's made and realizes that his very presence is the problem. And he comes up with one last drastic plan.
Okay, so let's just remember where this all started. His problem was a feeling, right? A bad memory. He was a guy burdened by the idea that he'd done something dishonorable. And the irony is just crushing. By trying to do this honorable thing, he's created a real-world catastrophe. He basically traded a guilty feeling for the heavy, crushing weight of having actively ruined the lives he wanted to save.
So his final act is to just erase himself. He signs over his entire fortune to Leonora and Francis, making sure they're financially secure, and then he just disappears. He sends them a letter from another country saying they'll never see him again. He finally understands the only way to fix his mistake is to get out of the picture for good.
And his final letter has this absolutely haunting line in it. Some mistakes, they don't just stay in the past. They grow, they put down new roots, they create whole new situations. And trying to rip out that original mistake 20 years later, well, it doesn't fix anything. It just destroys the whole garden. It really leaves you wondering, are some things just better left broken?